Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a Microtech. It's been a minute since I had a Microtech. I actually showed you that, I think it was a Zombie Ultratech, and I traded that for this one, believe it or not. So this is just an orange Stonewash Tanto version of the Ultratech. All right, so we're going to take a look at that today. I saved all the packaging and everything because Microtechs, you know, for resale. I get it. I do a lot of trading. Sometimes I'll do this, sometimes I don't. I always feel bad when there's lots of packaging and nice packaging, particularly knives that people collect. I mean, it's just nice to save it. Mostly it's just a room issue. You know, once you get a bunch of knives, it's hard to find places for all these boxes. But all the paperwork here, you see it. I mean, they have a lot of different models, but more so they have a bunch of varieties of each model, right? So like the Ultratech, for example, there might be dozens and dozens of different versions of the same knife. So this one we can see has a nice orange color. I did carry this in October, even though I didn't have an official, you know, Halloween EDC. I certainly kept that in mind. Did carry some purple and orange stuff throughout the month. Very cool though. You know, it's an OTF. It works fantastic, as you imagine. You know, Microtech is one of the leaders for automatic knives, especially OTFs. We know that. Microtech, ProTech, Dalton. You know. Who else? I mean, there's a bunch now. Like, you could throw in Benchmade. They have, you know, plenty of OTFs over the years now that have proved themselves to be good quality knives. Geez. Heretic knives. I mean, there's tons. Well, that's, you know, I guess you'd consider an offshoot, or an offspring anyway, of Microtech. But anyway, you guys get it. I mean, there's plenty. The market's saturated now, which is a good thing. You know, OTF knives are cool. So there's lots and lots of people making them. Even I saw, who was it recently? It was... Oh man, I'm having a total brain fart. I could picture his face. I can't think of it, but he came out with his own OTF recently, a very, you know, high-end production. And oh my God, Greg Medford. There we go. So yeah, he has his own totally different design. I'm interested in that, but you know, the knives are expensive. But anyway, so let's talk about this one. I mean, there's not much to say. You guys know the deal with Ultratechs, right? They've been around forever. This one is around the $312 mark retail. What's interesting about this one is in M390. However, right now they're offering this in LMAX. So again, there's so many varieties of this. If you like the M390, they actually have a version of this. It's orange. I think it's a slightly darker orange, but it's their apocalyptic finish that they're still offering in M390. So essentially the blade, this is a Stonewash blade. They have an apocalyptic finish, which I think is just a darker Stonewash. And like the flats here are satin, and I want to say the flats are also stonewashed. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's Microtech collectors that know all that kind of stuff. It's hard for me to keep up these days, but yeah. So if you like the M390, you can't get this exact knife, but you can get one super similar to it. The difference, you know, I mean, I don't have a specific preference. They're both fantastic steels. If I had to choose, I kind of like the M390 just a little over LMAX. I've had an issue personally with an LMAX. A fixed blade that chipped out, but you know, that could be, it was a small fixed blade. I wasn't like batoning it or doing anything crazy, but it's had a little bad experience with LMAX. But it doesn't mean that the, you know, steel is bad. It's fantastic. Has wonderful edge holding capabilities, all that kind of good stuff. I will be comparing this with a cheaper Tech Knives OTF in a separate video. Just talk about it a little bit, just with, you know, I don't know, fit and finish, things like that. Is it always worth spending extra money on a name brand like this? I mean, obviously, you're going to get a good warranty, you know, with Microtech. I know the turnaround times could be a little iffy sometimes. They don't have, like, a whole big team. They're not a massive company, you know, so turnaround times might be a little slow. But it is what it is. There's plenty of hardcore fans, and for a reason. I will say this has a little bit of play, as they all do, in our switch. Right? You can hear that. Just a little bit. Even when it's open. This is one of the things I'm going to compare to the cheaper knife, a much cheaper knife, that does not. But I do like, you know, their pattern's ridiculous there. I mean, you can't miss gripping that. You know, whether you're bare skin or gloves, it just works really well. I've never had an Ultratech misfire or anything like that. Some specs, if you're not familiar with these, 3.4 inches on our blade, 4.6 inches closed. It is an aluminum body here, 8.5 inches open, and 3.4 ounces. They're very cool. The Tanto thing, like, I almost never pick a Tanto. I love the look of a double-edged spear point blade. I love the look of a drop point. The Tanto is really like lower on my list, but the reason I agreed to this is because I haven't had a Tanto previous to this. So I just wanted to try it out, and it's cool. It works fine. Obviously, when you're resharpening, you have to treat these like two different blades. At least that's how I always do it, so you don't round the point. So if you're coming on, you know, especially if you have a handstone or something, you're coming to sharpen. If you do a constant sharpening all the way across, like a constant sweep, you're going to round out that second tip. So it's better to treat this like a short, tiny little blade and just sharpen that. You know what I'm saying? And then treat this edge like its own blade and just sharpen that. Just a little tidbit. But yeah, I mean, it works fine. Works good. Pocket clip's fantastic, right? You have the Microtech logo on here. We have serial number, born on date. I like all that stuff. The more information, the better. So we have a serial number. We got the logo on the bottom there. This was made in February 23. That's always cool, especially for, you know, customer service, essentially. If they have any kind of issues, they can kind of see about when they were made. Little glass breaker on the back, flares up. So if you want to put a lanyard on there, there's your lanyard hole. All right, little carbide bait or tungsten, whatever the hell it is. I didn't mean to say it like that. That sounded angry. I'm not angry about it, but I'm just saying it's there in case you need to break some glass or something like that. But they're cool. I mean, Ultratechs, you know. What's new? Nothing new I'm saying, really. I'm just showing you a different color and a different blade profile, but we've been there. A lot of ones on the channel years past. Like you see, they don't misfire, but that'll tear your thumb up after a while. It is a very aggressive switch. That could be a positive or a negative. Just depends. Now, generally, you're not doing that. You take your knife out, you open it. Shouldn't be an issue. You make your cuts, and it goes away. Back in the pocket. But yeah, Microtech. Very cool. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'll compare this one directly. I'll film it in a second here, but you guys will see it another day. I'll compare it to another knife I've been digging lately. Talk a little bit about price difference. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comment section. Do you EDC a Microtech? If you do, what kind? I have to say, one Microtech I've been thinking about lately that I miss, well, there's two of them really. The old LLC. There's a Greg Lightfoot design. I like the dual action. So it had a bolster that was an automatic, or you can just manually open it. That thing was just cool. Also, randomly thinking about the Amphibian. That's an old school model I love. It's just aggressive looking. Very, very cool knife. But it's the LUDT. I love that knife. I love the manual version of that and a plain edge blade. Just one of those things I might look to trade in the future. I want to get a manual Microtech back in the rotation. That's all. Because they make fantastic knives, but everyone focuses on their automatics, and their regular folders are awesome too. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.